line is muted. You can unmute yourself by pressing *6 on your phone.
On YouTube, it hasn't started streaming over there yet. So there it goes. I have to mute everything over here. Otherwise, I get a feedback. I forgot about that. Oh, okay, looks like we're good. And looks like the stream is good, and we're over on YouTube, and no one's there yet, but they'll gather. So let's just get going. And I'll go ahead and
I've got two things coming across.
Two things. What? What are you seeing?
Yeah, it was an echo. Yeah, and like you were talking, and then it was duplicating itself.
Is it now?
Yes, it's still doing that.
Okay, you need to. Do you have the volume on the show? Like maybe.
Oh, sorry. What's that?
I had to mute my YouTube.
Oh, I don't know. I'll mute myself.
Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and announce this and get this started. Power to the truth. This is Margo, and this is Saturday, September 15th, 2018. And tonight I have on the line with me today Robin Westenra, and we're going to be looking at some unusual things going on NASA Worldview up in the Arctic that I saw today. And he was asking me to explain it to him, and I said it'd be best if I just do it live. So we've set up the live stream. We're over here on TalkShoe and streaming over to YouTube. And let me see if...
Yeah, are you there, Margo?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm still getting this echo.
Yeah, well, I don't have the echo. We've got 4 watching over on YouTube. If someone can type in over on YouTube and let us know, if they can type into the chat if we're coming through okay, that would be great. No one said anything yet. They're just kind of gathering. They tend to be shy at first. Yeah, this is kind of an impromptu discussion tonight between Robin and Margo. Okay, DMT. Hi, Margo. Hi, DMT. Can you hear me okay? I guess I can. Are we coming through okay? Robin, why don't you say something so that they can hear you? It's always a little bit of...
Yeah, hi, Margo. Yeah, I'm having considerable difficulty because I'm hearing everything twice. So I muted myself, and I thought I would just go over to listen on YouTube, but I'll see how it goes.
Do you have it up on YouTube?
Yeah.
Do you have it? You do? Well, you need to mute it over on YouTube because that's why you're getting the echo. They're saying that you sound fine and that I sound good. So if you'll mute where it's playing over on YouTube, I think you'll get rid of that echo. So let me know when you've done that, and then we can get on with our show here. How are you doing over there, Robin? Did you get it muted over there on YouTube? Hello?
God.
So is it still an echo, or what's going on with you now, Robin?
Okay, just a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, just go ahead now. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So what we have up here, I'm showing a picture from Climate Reanalyzer from today, which is the snow and ice cover. And what struck me and triggered me to go look at NASA Worldview early this morning was this line of how, this is like such a straight line of melting, and like it was so stark and bare there over on this west side of the snow. And if we look back a few days, we can see that that was not like that. See, I'm going back, and we can see it was more jagged. So just today, it was like that straight line, and it kind of caught my attention. And so I went over to NASA Worldview this morning, and what I got was this. Now, this is not the whole picture from NASA Worldview, but I took a shot. This was in that area where there was no sea ice in the Beaufort Sea, and this is a cloud over here. And this was these black stripes that showed up that was just so odd. And I'm like, what is that about? And then so I sent the picture to Robin, sent it to a couple of other people, and I'm like, this is so strange. And it was just in that one area of the picture where it was showing up. And then I went back to NASA Worldview this evening after I've been out, and this is what it looked like.
Ooh.
And it was totally different. And this is the Beaufort Sea here. Here's Alaska and Canada coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like totally different now. And it's got all this green stuff in the water and the brown, and I've never seen this before from NASA Worldview. I don't know if something. Are you there, Robin? Is that you?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what that was.
Well, I think we've got some interference here.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, yeah, we've got some guests. We've got the deacon is with us over here. So, did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
That sounded weird.
Yeah.
It looks like the deacon is muted, but it sounded like a ghost or something coming. It's like every time I come on, it's like weird,
I know.
weird stuff starts happening. It's kind of flipping me out. But so anyway, now I'm going to switch my screen share over to NASA Worldview, and we'll see. We'll just get a good look at all of this and kind of see what's going on. So here it is from today. This is the Arctic. And of course, there's a hole, and it's growing in the center because the sun is starting to set up there. And so as the sun starts getting lower on the horizon, they have fewer hours of sunlight. And then at some point in the next few weeks, the sun will go down, and then it will be totally dark up there for several months. And then we won't have a view from the Arctic here on NASA Worldview because this comes in on satellites. I'm going to expand my screen there. So what we're looking at, the area we're concerned with, that I was like, this is so different from this morning, is this area here where we see the blue water. And so when we zoom in, you know, here's the sea ice, here's the sea ice. This is a cloud that's been put in. And I thought this was sea ice, but when I turn that on, it shows that that's a cloud. So I don't know why that is. I turned on the ice surface temperature, and we can see that this temperature is quite warm. This is measuring 278.7 Kelvin in that yellow part. So that's definitely above freezing. So it just looks so different from that striped view, and it's the dark blue, and it's like a totally different, and then this line comes in here, and it's like they dropped in another picture, and you can see, and I've seen this before, but not as pronounced as this. Have you, Robin?
No,
This
no.
this is crazy. And it comes in, the way it comes in panels. And when they get their data coming in, and we still have some missing data here on this triangle part here where it's black. But from the end of this point, and it's like this line is coming down, and it's like a different picture that's been sliced in. And
One bit has no clouds, and then
I know, it's like this straight line, and the whole cloud system is cut off there, and then there's no clouds. And then there's this, and it just doesn't even match up. And so it looks to me like it's been definitely altered from this morning, and they didn't want anyone to see the stripes, but I did think to take a picture of it before it went away, and I'm glad I did, because that's the only record I have of those stripes. But also, look at how cloud free this is, and normally this is just covered with clouds, but you can see like the land, you know, and you can see like this green in the water here. Is this, I don't know what the hell this is. Do you? And the brown?
Unless it's some form of algae that they're picking up.
I don't know. This is McKenzie Bay. I've got my labels turned on so that I can tell people what this is. Here's Alaska over here. This is Barrow, right on that tippy point. But you can see like the water is green even over here. And normally this is all cloud covered. And, you know, we see from Climate Reanalyzer that there's really nothing over there. And so on days when we have no clouds, we should be able to see the coastline there. But
is that the normal color for the open water? It's very dark blue, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. And if we go back to yesterday, here's what it looked like yesterday when all their data came in. And it's that dark blue, and we've got the green. I didn't notice that yesterday. I would have seen that. I would have seen that green. You know, I don't know if they changed their modeling system or what.
You can see the green. You could see the green underneath the cloud there, can't you?
But they did. Well, here's where you put the layers on. You know, they might have added something to the modeling system or something, because I don't remember it being this vivid and the colors being this vivid and this real. I mean, I used to be more like kind of black and white when I was looking at this ice, but you know, this is, I don't know. It's crazy. And look down here in the Baffin Bay, it's all blue-green. See that?
Yeah.
That hasn't been like that before. And I don't have a new layer on. These are the same layers I always have up. And I wanted to show you something else. When you go to geographic and you get the world view, when I zoom in down here, look at this. These are the Bahamas. And look at all that blue-green water around the Bahamas. Look at that. I have no clue what that is. It's flipping me out, whatever it is. Do you have any idea?
It must be something to do with the data. I mean, you can't have something suddenly turn up from one day to another like that. And then look, south of Cuba as well.
I mean, I don't normally get the geographic view. I've been looking at the Arctic, but in the past, when I've done the geographic view, it wasn't colored like this. So I don't have.
What does it look like if you look at exactly the
maybe
same from, say, a month ago or something?
Corrected reflectance true color. Maybe you find. Nope, then it's black.
Yeah.
Oh, if we got it like a month ago, August.
Yeah.
No, it's the same. Look at that.
Yeah.
There's August 9th. And then there's all these white things. These white areas. I don't understand. But what I find interesting, and I was wanting to show everybody the hurricanes while we're here. As everybody's wanting to keep an eye on these. Here's Florence. Look at that.
That's
it's huge. It's already like covering North Carolina and most of South Carolina. I mean, everybody's getting the effects of it. But look how big of a system it is. And
what's that, the state above North Carolina? Is that Virginia, is it?
That's Virginia. Here's West Virginia. And then you've got Delaware and Maryland, and then Pennsylvania and New Jersey up there. But they've been getting rain up in Pennsylvania too. So, and like all this area is saturated because they've been getting a lot of rain. And then if you want to look at Mancoot, it's over here. It's right here.
Oh, God, that's
Look
huge.
at that. It's still covering up that northern part of the Philippines.
Yeah, and it's on its way to Hong Kong, I think.
Yep. And see, it's already, like, the outskirts of it have already hit Taiwan. And it's going to hit the land, hit China pretty soon. So these are some humongous systems. Look at how it's pulling in these clouds from way down here from the Indian Ocean. I mean, you can see like the arms of it just coming around, and it's just such a humongous system.
That's absolutely huge.
I know, it's really frightening. So We'll hop back up to the Arctic. Where am I? Oh, I got lost. So here we are.
So getting back to your straight line.
Oh yeah, you want to see the stripes?
Has that sort of opened up over the last few days, or?
That was not there yesterday. Oh, this area?
Yeah.
It's been cloudy.
Yeah, sort of there. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we haven't been able to really see.
Yeah, that's
It's
often
been
the case.
cloudy. Normally,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of clouds over there, and I know that this area doesn't have much ice, but when you look back, I mean, we've had a lot of storms up here. Now look, here it is on the 12th. There's that slice again.
Yeah.
It's like they just do that. Maybe that's just how they bring the data in, and they slice it in. I have no clue.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously they do that, but mostly
look, there it is.
all right.
There it is too.
Yeah.
But it matches up a little bit better. I mean, it matches up on the land because you don't see the land all separated. But it doesn't match up on the clouds.
Yeah, I mean, my first sort of thought is that they've spliced in something, but they've mistakenly spliced in something from a different day.
But you can see how.
Yeah, because there's
the clouds are
cloud
going one way, and then they're sliced off here, and then this line is part of the longitude latitude lines, but this is just a straight line where it's just cut off.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Oh, there's our data coming in. So look at that. See, they just slice it.
Ooh.
Here's the land and here's the clouds.
Yeah. I mean, if I was coming to this, I wouldn't know what to do with that. I mean, what the hell does that mean? But whereabouts is that?
That's Siberia. See,
Oh.
this is the Arctic. That's Siberia.
Yeah. So it's strange because it looks as though you've got an area of cloud and then another area where there is no cloud, and then the demarcation is perfect.
I know. It's just a straight line. It makes no sense. Let me see what my people over at YouTube are saying. Let's see. Who's Robin? Okay, they want to know who you are. They think you're a competent scientist.
Oh, no. I have to disabuse them of that.
Yeah, I didn't introduce you. Now Going South is saying who you are. Thank you, Torstein, for introducing Robin. Robin Westenra. He has a blog called Seymour Rocks. Yeah, Seymour Rocks. And you do research on abrupt climate change and the Arctic, the Antarctic. You do a lot of geopolitical stuff, but you've got it all over your blog, all over your blog. And you've been researching abrupt climate change for how long now? 6 or 7 years? Was it 2011?
I mean longer. Well, abrupt climate change, yes. I mean this situation, yes.
Yeah. So and we connected in the last few months and have kind of collaborated on some of the things that we do. And I do the videos, you do the write-up, and together we kind of get this information out to people. So they're not really saying much over there.
Yeah. So
It comes in as...
Yeah, I would say I'm not trained, but I am informed.
Right. Now, going south says that the satellite data comes in stripes.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen it come in stripes before, like those, like the black lines that I saw. And he's saying, as the satellite tries to cover the whole planet, he says, when you have a straight line, the area to the left may be the oldest data.
Right.
Okay. And the area to the right may be the freshest new data.
But that would have to mean, I mean, that was many, many hours. I mean, perhaps a whole rotation around the Earth difference, like they get the the data on the left, and it's got all this cloud and everything. It does a circle around the Earth, and then it shows it as being clear.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But that's just what he's saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Look at this hole here.
Yeah.
This is from September the 10th. I mean, that just doesn't even look normal. I mean, it's just so that anyway. So here we are on today, and there's the slice. So anyways, it was just so much different than the stripes that I saw. And it came in on the heels. Okay, now I've got feedback. Someone just unmuted. Hello? Was that? I don't know who just unmuted. Now it seems to be okay.
Right.
Guest 3 over in TalkShoe typed in Arctic ice didn't do too bad this summer. Well, I have a different opinion on that.
Yeah, I have a very different opinion from that.
Right. Because guest 3, the extent is there. It's still melting though, but it's very thin. And we've lost all of the old sea ice. The sea ice that used to be several meters thick is now about 1 meter to 2 meters thick at the very most. And so that's the problem. We've lost the old thick sea ice, and we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. Extent isn't everything. So, so there's that. So did we have any ideas on what this, what the green is? Is this algae?
I wouldn't have the foggiest idea. I mean, I think we just need to kind of note our concerns, and watch it.
Yeah. And the brown, it looks like it's like mud and sediment, as it's, maybe it's being churned up, or I don't know what.
Is there anyone in NASA that one could email like you did with CAMS? I mean, they were very helpful, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Let's see if I click about. They have frequently asked questions, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the responsible NASA official, Ryan Boiler. I guess I could email him.
Yeah, well, that would be That would be probably quite
There's
a
his
good thing.
email address. Yeah, I might email him and find out. But anyway, we've lost a lot of sea ice and it's still melting. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet. And we've seen those articles about it melting from underneath too.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's getting pretty close to the North Pole where you can see it's just chunks. So, I was going to show, I've got the Navy sea ice thickness up here. Here it is from today. I always like to show it. And this is where we're at with sea ice thickness. And we can see that it's mainly purple up here. And purple is depending on if it's kind of like splotchy or light purple or darker purple. It can be anywhere from a little bit above 0 to about 3/4 of a meter. And then when it gets into the dark purple and blue, it's going up to 1 meter. That's around here and around here. And then when it gets into the dark blue and the dark green, that's 1.5 meters thick. That's right along here. And then the aqua is about 2 meters and so forth. And so the only part that's at 2 meters is a little bit of area here north of Greenland and north of these Canadian islands and right here. And we have a lot of open area. And so, of course, we're at towards the end of the traditional melt season, but I expect it to keep melting. I think it's going to be a long melt season. I don't expect it to start really coming back until maybe a month from now, if it does start coming back. It just depends on how cold it gets and what kind of mixing it has up there. We can also look at this. This is the sea surface salinity, and it shows the mixing. And where it goes up into the red, that's where it's more salty, salt water coming in from the oceans. And then it starts mixing with that fresh water. And of course, it's warm. It's a lot warmer too. And so as it's mixing and it's warm, it's coming up underneath that ice and it's melting it from below, basically.
Mm.
So there's that. And I did report on this yesterday, but my stream didn't stream right because I wasn't using the right monitor. This is from National Snow and Ice Data Center. Here's the extent as of yesterday, the 14th, in the Arctic. We can see that. Here's the concentration. Then we can see, I'll make it bigger here.
Wow.
Of course, with the darker blue, it's less concentrated. And so that goes right along with the Navy graph as well.
The Navy graph is showing that at the North Pole, the thickness of the ice is only between 0.5 and 1 meter.
Right. Yeah, that's, they don't need an icebreaker to go through that.
No.
And then here's the chart on the ice extent. And this dotted line is the extent from 2012. That's when it got to the lowest since they've been recording it. But so here we are in 2018, and it's lower than all the other years except for 2012. So here's the Antarctic, and we've been reporting on that the Antarctic extent is not good, and the thickness, the concentration and the thickness is not good either. And here's the graph showing that the Antarctic sea ice extent is at the lowest ever at this point of the year. And here it is, the blue line, here it is for 2018. And the lowest it was before was last year, 2017. And it was bigger than 2017 until about mid-July, and then it started going down, and now it's at the lowest. So there's that. Did you want to look at anything on cams?
I didn't really see the Arctic, but it just reminds me. I can't remember the year. There was an expedition going out of Australia, and I think they were using a Russian vessel in the Antarctic. And then they got stuck in the ice, and then they had to get. I think they got, help from a Chinese vessel. Now that was in the middle of summer, and looking at the ice concentration, ice thickness, I can't even imagine something like that happening in winter.
No. Now we do have a lot of methane still coming up. Our data is as of yesterday. I'm running it from yesterday, the 14th, and then it'll go into the forecast period. It's loading right now. We'll let that load up. And that the green and stuff that we saw, it could be from the methane coming up. I don't know. Because the methane is in the orange area. It's coming up in the Arctic there, you see? It's all the way across. And the orange, or it's a yellow, they brought my graph back, I guess, because I complained. That's about 1920 to 1940 parts per billion. And then when it gets into the orange, it's 1980. The red orange is 2000. And then the darker red is 2020. The brick red is 2040. And then the black is 75,600 parts per billion. So there it goes. And we can see a lot coming up from, here's Norway, here's England, down here. It's really, look at it coming up over here. And I mean, this whole Arctic Ocean over here on this right side is just, it's just got so much methane. And here's Novaya Zemlya. See, it's just covered. There it is from yesterday. That's the data. And now it's in the forecast period. So what do you think about that, Robin?
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then, of course, it's just black over here on China and Asia and India. And it's like every time I see it, it's worse. I didn't think it could get worse, but every time I see it, it's worse. So while that's running.
Yeah, the strange thing about that is there's a lot of ozone, methane coming out of the Himalaya region, which is not, I mean, that's not an industrial area like, the main part of China.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like my stream is stuck. We'll do this. Hang on a second. Hang on, I've got to start the screen share over again. because it's not sharing right. It's stuck. Gotta do it again. There we go. Now let's see if it's coming over to, okay, it should be coming over to YouTube soon. Looks like it's spooling. There we go. Okay, it should be coming over. I'm looking at YouTube, and it should be the methane on cams is streaming over to YouTube now. I'm just looking through the chat to see if there's anything. They're not really, well, they think it's algae, the green. That's what Going South said. He'd say they think that green is algae. There's Valhalla. Hi, Valhalla. Anyway, they're chatting over there. I've got 12 watching now on YouTube.
Yeah. If that's algae, that's pretty amazing because that shows
I know.
north of Alaska. I mean, that's pretty weird.
I know, just coming up off the coast there. It's crazy. So I guess it got hung up when I was showing the Arctic sea ice news. So it got everything else. It got hung up on that. So did you want to look at anything else? We've been going for a little while here.
Yeah. No. I think that's. I mean, we really came on to discuss that strange.
I know. I
think we've covered the ground.
And you would think, with it being NASA, that they could match up their pictures a little bit better. They can match up the panes of those pictures and the data coming in. I mean, if they're sending people off to the moon, and if they've got those telescopes and can see millions and billions of light years away and figure out what kind of gas is on a certain star, they can sure as hell line up those pictures. That's what I think. I think that's kind of on purpose.
Yeah, well, I think it would be a good idea to email them, give them the benefit of the doubt, see if they've got any explanation.
Yeah, well, I might, or I might not want to draw attention to myself. So
yeah, that's true.
I'll see what I decide to do. Well, thanks, Robin, for coming on and having this talk with me today. And let me pop back over to the chat room over here. Yeah, okay. He's showing the same thing that I showed. Yeah. Guest 3. I don't know who you are, Guest 3, but you're showing the same chart that I showed. So yes, I'm aware of that. Thank you. So I think I'll end this. So thanks, Robin. Thanks everybody for joining today. Thank you, Guest 3, for joining. And thank you everyone over on YouTube for joining and for subscribing and everything. So until next time, time is short. I do believe time is very short, and we just don't know how much time we have, and I think we've got a lot less than we do. So I recommend everyone get their spiritual houses in order. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless, and goodbye. And thank you, Robin. I will talk to you soon. God bless everyone. Goodbye.